comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Until it stops breathing.
Solar power is not a new invention, but it is now being recognized as a clean, resourceful, alternative mode of energy. Although only 1 part in 2 billion of the energy radiated by the sun strikes the Earth, it is an enormous amount. Every day, enough energy strikes the United States to supply the country's energy needs for 1.5 years. We have relied on the sun for energy forever, but advancements have been made so the sun can be used to generate electricity. Solar technologies were first developed in the 1860s, when people realized that coal would soon be scarce. However, the development came to a halt in the early 1900s, when coal and petroleum became increasingly available and affordable. During the 1979 energy crisis, solar power was brought back to people's attention and became a priority. The short supply of oil and natural gas, plus concerns with global warming, caused the production of solar power to increase. Solar power is the transfer of sunlight into electricity. This happens either using photovoltaics, PVs, or concentrated solar power, CSP. CSP systems use lenses or mirrors and tracking systems to take a large area of sunlight and focus it into a beam. PVs turn light into electricity using the photoelectric current. The first photovoltaic cell was developed by Charles Fritts in the 1880s. Despite the increasing popularity of solar power, it accounts for less than 1% of United States electricity use. Solar power is more widely used in many European countries like Spain and Germany, which provide strong incentives for alternative energy use. California is by far the leading state in solar power use.
When nuclear fusion occurs, the sun's extremely high pressure and heat causes hydrogen atoms to separate and their nuclei to fuse or combine together. To put it more simply, 4 nuclei become 1 helium atom. If one was to mass the helium atom, it would weigh less than 4 fused hydrogen atoms, because some matter is lost during the nuclear fusion. The matter that is lost is the radiant energy. The reason that people struggle to harness the sunlight to use it positively is because the sun that reaches the Earth is spread out among a large surface. It is not a viable option because trying to capture solar energy from one spot would provide little energy. The sun does not give up too much energy in one spot at once, not to mention the fact that if it did, it would be very dangerous. Harnessing solar power depends on a few conditions. The first is the time of the day. Depending on how long the sun is shining, and depending on whether or not it's morning, afternoon, or nighttime. Another aspect is the season. Depending on which season it is, the days may be longer or shorter. An obvious factor is the clearness of the sky. If the sun is covered by clouds, there is obviously going to be less available sun to harness if it is blocked. One more factor is the latitude of the area, because the sun spreads at quick speeds, making it difficult to collect usable energy. Something called a solar collector is one way to collect heat. For example, if you park your car outside in the sun and you come back after a few hours, the car is very hot. As the sun passes through the windows of a car, it is absorbed by the materials in the car. The light is changed to heat. An important factor is that the windows let the light in but does not let the heat out. A closed car in the sun is an example of a heat collector. The way that we do harness power from the sun is from concentrating power systems, aka CSPs. CSPs use things like lenses, mirrors, or tracking systems to focus the spread out energy into a small beam of energy that we can use. The heat that is concentrated is then used as a heat source for power plants. The most developed systems are parabolic troughs. Parabolic troughs consist of a pipe that holds some fluid. The pipe collects energy by using long reflecting troughs that focus the sunlight onto the pipe, which is in the focal line. The fluid in the pipe is then responsible for collecting the energy and transforming it into a heat exchanger, which then produces the steam that drives the turbine. Generating 354 megawatts, the world's largest parabolic trough is located in the Mojave Desert in California. Although this is the largest parabolic trough, it is still smaller than a large power plant. To be more specific, it is about 1/3 of a large power plant. Another system is the Stirling dish. Other systems are power towers. No matter what the system, a working fluid is always present to be heated by concentrated sunlight and subsequently used for power generation or heat storage.
Cleanliness is probably solar power's most redeeming quality. Not only is sun an abundant energy source, but it also produces zero air pollution, zero water pollution, and it's free. It is only logical to use the most abundant source on the planet for good. Probably the only realistic drawback is that in order to manufacture the photovoltaic cells to harness the energy, you need to produce some manageable waste, but it does not go into the air or water. Of course, like most things, if the solar energy systems are not managed properly, they can be damaging to ecosystems. But if handled properly, it is really safe. Most scientists, and regular communities for that matter, have agreed that solar energy is the key to a clean and healthy future. Despite all of the benefits of solar power, it is not very widely used. Solar panels are made from fragile materials like glass and semiconductors, so they must be constantly taken care of and often replaced. The original cost of materials plus maintaining causes solar power to be extremely expensive. Generating power from solar panels costs 4 times as much as coal and double the amount of wind power. Another issue is that solar power does not produce energy at night, although this is not a major issue because most electricity is used during the day. Solar power also requires a large number of solar panels in order to be truly efficient.